I'm ChezPride, and welcome back to another Sims 4 Business and Hobbies related video. In this video, I want to do a gameplay style review over classes, lectures, and mentoring, and the difference between them all while showing off how they all individually work. So I've already showed off in another video how classes and lectures are different, and mentoring isn't completely a new concept. But in this video, I want to deep dive into all of them and how they all work within this pack and how they all differ from each other. So I've made us a residential business to play at, a family to run it with, and set up a slight storyline for us to follow. So let's go ahead and get introductions out of the way, and then we will jump into this gameplay review. So this is my little family that I have made with the new pack to play through this gameplay review with, and this is the Crawford family. And basically, in this save file, the Crawford family is known for being the rich, generous family of Nordhaven that is known to really love and give back to the community by basically running a public school where people in the community can come to take classes from them and learn their knowledge that they have to share, and basically just have a bunch of opportunities to skill build. So this family basically consists of two elderly grandparents and their teenage grandson, who is right about on the edge of aging into a young adult. So the two elderly grandparents are Joseph Crawford and Vivian Crawford. And basically, they are the sweet grandparents of the community that are prodigies in pretty much everything they do. Like, almost every skill they have completely maxed out. And they are just known for just teaching their knowledge among the lands. But they are also known for being very generous. And unfortunately, their daughter, which of course was their grandson's mother, died when their grandson was just a child. And they ended up bringing in their grandson and raising them as their own. So their grandson is Nicholas Crawford. And like I said, he is about to be a young adult. He's pretty mature for his age. He kind of helps run the business at this point. And he also takes very much after his grandfather. Him and his grandfather are very close. So that's kind of the storyline. So let's go ahead and meet the members individually. So our grandfather here is Joseph Crawford, and he is the man of the house and the man of the business. He is technically the business owner. Everyone technically works for him, even though it is a family business school type situation. But this is our main guy here. So he really likes anything to show creativity that he can do with his hands. And he is really a down-to-earth type of guy, but he is so wise and so generous. So as far as his aspiration goes, he wants to be the master mentor, which I am going to be going over this aspiration in this video. I went over the other aspiration that we got in this pack in my last review video, but I'll go over this one in this video just like I did in that video. His traits are that he is wise, he is a maker, and he is generous. And as far as his preferences goes, his colors that he likes are brown and green. That is very much a trend in this family. And then for his activities, his likes are that he likes cooking, fishing, gardening, handiness, painting, pottery, and writing. But he dislikes baking, cross-stitch, fitness, and knitting. And you'll see in kind of the wife's and husband's likes and dislikes. They have a few opposite interests here, but they also have a lot of similar interests as well. This is him up close. He is rocking one of the new hair. Actually, they're all rocking one of the new hairs. So this is one of the new hairs that comes in the pack, as well as he rocks a lot of new items from the pack, including the sweater with the little fanny pack. So this is his everyday wear. Like I said, he's a pretty down-to-earth guy. He doesn't dress too fancy. He does have a really cute formal wear, though. Like, I think his wife would have dressed him in his formal wear, but I still think this is adorable little old man outfit, and I love it. And then he has a pretty simple athletic wear, a pretty simple old man sleepwear, and then his party wear, he just has a nice little dress suit with a green undertop. His swimwear, he just has a brown swim trunk with a green tank top. I feel like he wouldn't want to be shirtless too much, honestly. I feel like he'd be more of a conservative type of guy. This is his hot weather wear. This shirt is from Businesses and Hobbies. And then his cold weather wear is the same as his everyday. So that is our grandfather. And then we have his wife, Vivian Crawford, who is a little bit more fancy, you could say. She has a little bit more high of standards, but she's still a sweet, giving person. So Vivian here wants a successful lineage. Honestly, she was very upset when her daughter died. Her daughter was very well to do for herself. Like, she had her own career going on. She was a successful woman. And now she just really wants to reflect the successfulness of her family onto her grandson by teaching him the trades to keep this business for the community going. So, like I said, she wants a successful lineage. She's creative. She's a little bit self-absorbed. She's family-oriented. And she's also a bit of a perfectionist. So her preferences, color-wise, she likes brown, white, and green. And then activities, she likes baking, cross-stitching, gardening, knitting, painting, singing, violin, and wellness. But she dislikes fishing and photography. So, like I said, she's a bit more on the fancy side. As you can see, she has the fancy new hair. She wears a bunch of pearls and gold and whatnot. She kind of has this nice dress. Well, I don't know if you really consider this nice, but I wanted to use it because it's new and I thought it fit her vibe. But she has the jewelry and all that. And then her formal, she has another new outfit. This is one of the more businessy looking outfits, but I just thought it was perfect for her. And then we have her athletic wear, very cute athletic wear. We have her sleepwear, some classic granny pajamas. We have her fancy party wear that's also from Business and Hobbies. Basically anything fancy from Business and Hobbies I gave her. And then we have her swimwear. Of course, she had to have a little sun hat because she's just that super fancy and whatnot. We have her hot weather wear, which is the same as her everyday. And then this is her cold weather wear. I love this hat on her. I think it's so cute with this hair. So that is our grandma Vivian. And then their now teenage, almost young adult son that they took in, or grandson that they took in as a child, Nicholas. So this is Nicholas Crawford. He wants to be a Renaissance sim. He just wants to learn everything he can. And like I said, he takes very much after his grandfather. So he has both traits from his grandfather, which is maker and generous. But he does have a bit more of his own preferences versus his grandparents. So he doesn't have any dislikes, but his likes are that he likes baking, cooking, fishing, gardening, handiness, pottery, and writing, which are all things that are a mix of his grandparents. But his main thing, which is not like his grandparents, is dancing. He is a master in dancing. That is the main skill that he has maxed. And everything else, he's not as good as his grandparents in, but he can outdance anyone in his family. Pretty much anyone in his community. But unlike his grandparents, he likes blue instead of green. And he likes black, brown, and white as well. So that is his preferences and personality. So this is him up close. He has the more messy hair from the pack, but you can kind of tell that he is more on the about to be an adult side. He has facial hair, and he also has a secret tattoo that his grandparents don't know about. So he has this little heart tattoo on his chest, and I kind of imagine that he got it for his mom. I know I could have gave him like the mom heart tattoo, but I wanted it specifically on his chest to hide from his grandparents. So that's his little devilish secret that he's keeping. But he dresses very nicely. Like, you can tell his grandparents raised him, especially his grandmother. So this is his everyday wear. We have his formal wear, which I'm obsessed with. Ooh. We have his athletic wear, which I think is really cute. We have his sleepwear, his party wear, which I'm pretty sure this is all from the new pack as well. No, this is paranormal. Okay, the shirt is from the new pack, but the shirt does kind of show off his tattoo, so he has to be careful about wearing that around his grandparents. We have his swimwear. He probably doesn't go swimming with his grandparents very often, I'm just saying. We have his hot weather wear, which is actually kind of similar to his granddad's. And then we have his cold weather wear. So that is our little family that we are playing with for this video. So let's go ahead and jump into game real quick. I'm going to give you guys a tour of the business / where they live, and then we will go ahead and jump into the actual gameplay review. Alright, so this is our residential business that is a public community school, and basically the whole theme of this was a big dome on the top, a bunch of circles, the color scheme being green and brown, and it having as many classroom spaces as I could possibly fit. And I wanted there to be a center garden. So, like I said, it is a residential business, but it's more business than residential. So this is kind of the overview of the whole business. As you can see, it definitely has a modern vibe to it, but I think it fits in the Nordhaven world, especially this part of the world, pretty well, considering that no other building has a dome on it, but that's fine. I really wanted the dome. That was kind of the whole inspiration of this build. But this is what the build looks like from up front. So you come up here, it has a little sign here, it has a couple of different symbols here because, you know, you can have a bunch of different things you can learn here. You could come up here on the porch to get into the building, but you could also come this way. So if you come onto the concrete this way and come around this way, on both sides there's a fountain and a telescope. So you can work on the logic skill on the telescope. You can also work on the logic skill in this little chess community area. And then if you follow the building around this way, we have some public restrooms, because there's not any restrooms inside for the public. There's for the employees, but not for the public. So I put 3 restrooms out here. And then if you come over here, we have our outdoor classroom area. And this is the most basic classroom area we have. And basically, I wanted an outdoor area that you could teach any type of skill class in. So it doesn't have any specific skill building items like most of the other classroom areas do. This one is just kind of an open, do your own thing. Anyone can come here and teach any type of skill type situation. But if we go back to the front of the lot, we can go ahead and go inside. I'll show off the other side of the building after we show off the inside. But I want to show off the actual inside of the building before we go that way, because that's how we're going to get to the residential area. So let's go ahead and come up here to the front porch. So we have our little open and close sign. Our front entrance area has a bunch of lights, so it lights up nice at night. I love all the plants in this build too, like all the flowers and whatnot. But you walk up, this is the front entrance, and you walk in, very interesting layout. So automatically you walk into this skinny introduction area. It has a little speaker, a bunch of plants, some sitting areas, and some lamppost signs that kind of show which classroom is which way. And the first classroom is this middle room. And this is our basically glass dome garden. And it has a whiteboard so you could teach gardening classes. And also there's a flower arranging class over there. So most of the plants in here are flowers, just to help in that situation too. I did leave some blank plots in case your sim wanted to plant something themselves. This is the first classroom area. And then if you go this way, this is kind of the husband's classroom side. So in this area, Joseph teaches handiness, and there's a little sitting area over here for people who aren't taking the class or are waiting on someone to take a class. So it has his little area plus all the students. And then if you go on the opposite side of the divider, on this side, this is where he teaches pottery. So this is his pottery little station. This is where the people who are taking the class are. And then also I feel like he would teach pottery to his grandson. So this is his grandson's own individual pottery station. And I also squeezed in a utility closet over here because I went a few woohoo places. So we have more seating over in this area. So both of the sides on this area have a little seating with bookcases. And this is the painting area. So both grandparents are really good at painting. That's kind of where they both are similar. So I put in a teaching area where they could both teach painting classes together. Obviously, they couldn't actually both teach them at the same time, but I like to pretend that they could. And I also put a little kids painting area over here as well. And then if you go this way, this is the grandmother's teaching area. So over here, she can teach cross-stitching and knitting. And then over here, she can teach flower arranging. Again, they both have sitting places. And then if you go here, this is the last place that is in the building, like this main dome building. But this is actually only accessible to employees and families. So this is actually the first entryway into how to get to the living area. And the living area is actually in the basement underneath the building for the most part. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But I wanted there to be a front door entrance from the outside and the inside. So this front entrance, quote unquote, even though it's in the inside of the building, like inside the glass dome part, this quote unquote front door for them leads straight into their kitchen. So you could come down here and you go in this hallway and go down here and go straight into their kitchen area. But as you can see, the door is misleading. This door doesn't actually go to anything. So you can't actually walk through that door. You can only walk through this door, and at least this little narrow way. You would think from the entryway it would be more grand on the other side of that door, but it's not. Let me show you the more grand entrance. So if we were to go back outside, back out this way, again, we have a fountain and a telescope. I also put some kids' playground equipment. I just thought that was cute since we had some kids' stuff. This side of the building doesn't really have a purpose other than just to look pretty. But then we have this building. So this is what I would pretend is the entryway to their house, but it's also for the employees. So on this side, we have some dumpsters over here. We also have a woohoo bush. So we have 3 places you can woohoo right here. But I figured the employees would use the dumpsters. And since the dumpsters were back here, I made the entry like the top level of this house, because the main part of this house is actually in the basement, like I said. So I made the entryway kind of an employees area and a living room for the family. So we have a mailbox here for the family. You have a double entryway. You come in here, And as you can see, there's a little living room area that I would imagine is like mainly for the family. Maybe your employee could use the TV on their off time, but the employee area is more right here with the entryway of the little living room area. So they have a little desk. They can sit there and eat their meal at if they're on their break. I know they don't really get a break in the game, but I like to pretend. We also have another alarm system. We have a little mini fridge that they can store their snacks in. And then we have a little entryway table, just like we did in the other area. And then this is how you get down to the basement. So because of how Tabs Moves works, I have to go in this way. Okay, so you come to the bottom of the stairs, and the first thing room you're going to be in is also an employee area. So you come down the stairways, there's a little mirror, there's a plant, and it leads into an office and the employee bathroom. So I would imagine that like Joseph or Vivian would sit at this desk and like talk to their employees. Whoever's not sitting here would sit here, and then the employees could sit here. They could also come and take their break in this room if they want a couch to sit on. There's a little bookshelf here, and then we have the employee bathroom. There's supposed to be a hot water machine here. I don't know where it is. Hold on. Zoom out. Oh, there it is. That was weird. Okay. Well, there's a hot water machine here. It's actually not functional, but I like to pretend it is. And then just a simple half bathroom for the employees. And then if you were to go through this archway, which the employees can't, only the residentials can't, this is how you get to the residential area that they don't share. So this is their little entry hallway. They have a bookshelf here. There's a little broom and stuff here, and it leads straight into a hallway. And this is kind of the open area, and then this is like bedrooms and bathrooms. So automatically over here, we have the main bathroom for the family, and the new bathroom kits have just came out, so I kind of went all out. So you walk in, and there's a walk-in shower situation, but I didn't like any of the tile with this wallpaper, and I didn't want there to be wooden wallpaper, so we're using the pegboard for Little Simsies pack and pretending it's tile. I had to get it clever because I really wanted to do a walk-in shower situation with the stuff from the new pack. So it has the new shower head and everything. And then over here, we have a little tub situation. So Vivian has her fancy tub and whatnot. There's a double sink situation with a toilet in the middle. We have some storage. Since there's an ironing thing on this shelf automatically, I put a little ironing board in here. I don't know. It's slightly a tight squeeze, but I thought it was cute. And then here is the bedroom. So there's two little sitting spots here because this is how you would get to the business if you just came straight up this way. But this is the bedroom situation. So there's two bedrooms. So this is the grandparents' bedroom. And I very much went off of the fact they both like green and brown. And Vivian would probably want it to be fancy, and they're both very artistic. So as soon as you walk in, there's a little painting area that's just like their personal painting area next to a little get ready area that also has a bunch of extra canvases. I kind of like to pretend that all these paintings were done by them. This is where they keep their personal paintings. They do have a closet that they can woohoo in if they wanted to. Vivian has her own little makeup vanity. This is their bed situation. It has a little couch at the end. I don't know. I thought that was cute. And then if you go this way into this bedroom, this is Nicholas's bedroom. So as you can see, more teenager vibes. It's still fancy because I feel like Vivian would have a say-so, but it's definitely more teenage vibes. So we have, this is actually a TV. It looks like a painting, but it's a TV. It has a game station, a little couch to sit on there. We have a fancy bed. I feel like Vivian would have picked out this bed and these paintings. I do like the owl wallpaper though. I think that's really cute. And then since he's so into dancing, I did a whole dancing corner. So he has a little vinyl area collection. I really imagine he was into vinyls. So we have his little radio, and this whole area is kind of meant for dancing. And then he has a little simple get ready area. And then over out this way is the kitchen and dining area. So the kitchen and dining area is set up interestingly, but I actually am kind of obsessed with it. So this is what it looks like from the front. But if you come in this way, it has a money trash can. It has a nice refrigerator with actually some pretty nice cabinets and counters. We have a little stove here, and then a double sink situation that looks into like the entertaining eating area. It has these lanterns across the top. I don't know. I thought it was cute. A little speaker. We have bar seating over here. It doesn't actually have, this is not actually a bar. It's just bar seating. There is, however, a bar over here. So this is their little family bar. And then they have their little family dining table. And that is finally the whole house. I know. For a build I am using literally for one video, I kind of went all out. But I'm obsessed with it. And it's almost exactly what I had planned in my head when I imagined that I was going to make this build. I did upload this build to the gallery if you're interested, so it doesn't go the complete ways. It does take 1,000,000 packs though, so for that I do apologize. But now you know what we're playing in, who we're playing with, so let's jump into the actual gameplay now. So let me just kind of summarize what the difference and what exactly classes, lectures, and mentoring in this pack are. So basically, classes are events that you can charge for while running a business with the new pack that has goals to complete, where one of the goals is to hold a lecture on said topic with a whiteboard. And then lectures are where you can teach to a crowd about a skill and level up skills of the Sims that are learning from your lecture. You can't charge for these, but you can hold them in classes that you charge for. But for that reason, you don't have to be at a business to hold a lecture like you have to be when you run a class. As long as you are level 5 and have a whiteboard at whatever lot you're on, you can hold a lecture pretty much anywhere. And then we have mentoring. So mentoring is actually a base game feature that was expanded upon with this pack. So before with the base game, basically mentoring worked with, as long as your sim had a high enough level and the person that was doing that skill that your sim had a high enough level in had a lower skill than your sim, you could click on the sim doing that said skill and choose to mentor them. This feature was mainly used with to build the business, fitness career and whatnot. But now with the new pack, you can mentor anyone in a skill as long as you have at least level 5 a said skill and their skill is lower than you are. You don't need a whiteboard for this, but you also don't have to offer it for free. You can actually now offer paid mentoring. And you can also, with this pack, now have a mentor and mentee relationship with other Sims. So with all this together, basically what we now have is a new aspiration that goes over all of the mentoring stuff. So we're going to look at that first just to kind of see what all the steps in that are. And then we are going to go ahead and hold a couple classes. I have held classes in previous videos, but I'm going to hold a couple of classes to kind of show you what exactly classes are and how they work and how they incorporate lectures. And then we're going to go out in public and do a lecture, and then we're going to dive in to the different types of mentoring, including becoming a mentor. So let's go ahead and jump into the new aspiration that we are looking into this video. So the new aspiration from this pack that we are taking a look at this video, we're not playing through it, but we are taking a look at what all it inquires, is the Master Mentor aspiration. And it basically teaches you how to get a mentor and then become a mentor. So it is a 4-tier aspiration that has about 3 to 4 goals in each tier. So the first tier is the fledgling mentee, and you have to gain a mentor, earn a bronze level 3 times from attending hobby classes, and achieve level 3 in 3 skills. And then the second tier is aspiring student. So you have to make a new friend while attending a hobby class, achieve a gold level from attending a hobby class, be mentored for 3 hours, or achieve level 5 and achieve level 5 in 3 skills. So, you can also, if you want to learn a skill, you can go to a hobby class. I've kind of already done that. Basically, the easiest way to find this, if you don't have a business place down that teaches classes, is when you're in the world, there are different, they're kind of like festivals, but they're classes, like public classes just out in the world that spawn, and every day teaches like a different skill, and there's like a timed like schedule that they're on, and you can click on a board and you can select like when a class is going to, and you can attend lectures and classes there. Well, lectures, I guess. So you can attend a hobby class if you want to gain a skill, but I think teaching the class is more fun. So that's really what we're going to show off in this video, more so than attending a hobby class, because I've kind of already done that in my world tour video, and you have more stuff to do when you teach one. So now there is tier 3, which is passionate teacher. Speaking of teaching, so you must become a mentor to another sim. You must mentor another sim for 3 hours. Teach 5 hobby classes. So like I said, you can attend or teach. We're going to be teaching them in this video. And then achieve level 8 in 3 skills. And then the final tier is called the Master Mentor. And you have to earn gold level 2 times in teaching hobby classes. You must gain a mastery perk and achieve level 10 in 3 skills. Now, a mastery perk basically is like a bonus perk that you get from, I think how it works is basically through gameplay and skill building, you can gain mastery perks, and then you can like pass them down. If we gain a mastery perk, I will show it off. I just don't know how to quite trigger that, so I haven't showed it off in any of my videos specifically yet. But that is a thing, so I figured I might as well go ahead and mention it. But that is everything that the new aspiration inquires. Like I said in my last review video, I went over the second aspiration that was given in this pack. We did get 2 new aspirations with this pack, but this is the one to do with mentoring classes and lectures and whatnot. So now let's go ahead and hold a class. So like I said, I do intend on this to be a family-ran business, but out of all technicality, only one sim can own a business at a time, even if there's multiple sims in your household. It's not like a restaurant or a retail store where your whole family owns it. It's literally one sim owns it. But we do have grandma and our grandson working for him, so technically they're all working at the business together. He just technically owns it, even though I'm playing like in my head that it's a family-owned business. But this business is called Building Skills and Futures because I am just so creative and so original with my business title names, obviously from my last couple of videos. Oh God, I'm sorry. I have not come up with any good original business names yet, but it's fine. I have time. I have time. But as far as business activities go, obviously our main business activity is going to be attending classes and lectures. But since this is a multi-skill type of lot, I did go ahead and just put a bunch of different activities that are on the lot, like pottery and painting and woodworking and gardening. I would have put more if there was more slots, but there's only 5 slots. And then I'm not charging an entrance fee. They have plenty of money and they're charging for classes. So I didn't think there was any need for an entrance fee, but I did put some target customer preferences. So I would prefer the people be a child or older. I would prefer them to have some kind of skill that's already here. So flower arranging, gardening, painting, logic, handiness, pottery, any of that. And I would prefer them to not be completely broke. They don't have to be fully rich, but I don't want them to be completely broke. So this is our small business that we are running. And now we have to open so we can start teaching classes. So if I am understanding this concept correctly, pretty much the concept of a class, no matter what skill in the class you are teaching, is pretty much the same. But depending on what skill and what skill objects you are teaching with will kind of determine on the different goals you have to complete in said class. And like I said, you do charge for classes, but depending on how well you do at checking off the goals in the class, kind of like a party or an event, will determine on how much they teach you. So if you do a horrible job and you don't complete any of the goals, they're not going to pay you for your class. But if you do like a gold level star, they may even tip you. So it really depends on how well you do in the classes. Like I said, in my last gameplay review video, I did teach a class, but the only class I taught was painting. So even though painting is one of both of their strong suits, I think I'm going to focus on some of the other skills. So I have grandma and the grandson set up to just kind of do their own thing for now. Right now, since this is technically grandpa's business, I want him to run the first class. And I'm going to run a class through grandpa, and then I'm going to run a class through grandma, just to kind of show you the differences between the classes depending on what objects. But like I said, we do have to start a business and open the business to run a class. So we are going to go ahead and open for business. And I just want to make sure that the grandson and grandma are going to go do their own thing. Okay, so they're going to go do their own thing. I'm going to have grandpa come over here while I kind of explain how this works. So pretty much, if you haven't seen how this works yet, the way classes and lectures work is you have this whiteboard. And if you go into build mode with this whiteboard, there is a taped off section. And depending on what kind of class you want to teach, because pretty much any skill you have in your game, even if it's from a pack, you can teach a class on it and teach other people that skill as long as you have level 5. But you have to have the whiteboard. And like I said, the whiteboard has a taped off section, which is actually really big. I've gone over this concept before, so I'm not going to go into build mode, but it's pretty much like this size that this half of the stage is. And if you want to teach a class or a lecture that requires a skill object, you have to put it within the taped off area. So it's kind of like the invisible dance floor or the wedding aisle in the way that you place it down and you can see it in build mode, but when you go into live mode, you can't see the tape that marks off the section, but you're still able to interact with everything. That's pretty much how the whiteboard goes. But if there's a whiteboard on a public lot, you can teach a lecture on a public lot or your home lot, or pretty much any lot there's a whiteboard on, you can teach a lecture. But you have to own a business and open a business to do a class. So basically how all that works is you just click on the whiteboard and your options are to start a class, have employee-led classes, hold a lecture, or hold a lecture for. So let's go ahead and start on employee-led classes. So if you have an employee, which we do, we have Mora. If we have Mora, we can enable specific employee-led classes and enable all employee-led classes or enable all employee-led classes. Now, I don't have it set up in my employee's task where she can lead a class. But if I want to, I could tell her to enable a specific class and choose between all the classes here. So I have every pack but the Mosquito Stuff pack and the Star Wars pack. So the only class I can think that I probably wouldn't have is photography. Is that a class that I can teach? No, that is a class I can teach. So I feel like I can teach probably any skill since I have most of the packs. But the employee-led classes, or I guess the classes you can run in general, are acting, archaeology, baking, bowling, charisma, comedy, cooking, cross-stitch, dancing, DJ mixing, entrepreneur, fabrication, fishing, fitness, flower arranging, gardening, gemology, gourmet cooking, guitar, handiness, herbalism, horse riding, juice fizzing, knitting, logic, media production, medium, mischief, mixology, nectar making, painting, parenting, pet training, photography, piano, pipe organ, pottery, programming, research and debate, robotics, rock climbing, rock science, romance, Salvadorian culture, singing, skiing, snowboarding, tattooing, pharmacology, vampire lore, veterinarian, video gaming, violin, wellness, and writing. Whew. Okay. I think it's really interesting that you can teach veterinary classes. That's actually something I hadn't thought about. But yeah, that's basically all the classes that you can teach if you have pretty much all the classes. But I don't want an employee to hold a class. I want to start my own class. So as you see here, it says classes cannot start until customers has checked in. Now, I don't have a kiosk, which is where they like check in and they like charge to check in. It's not technically a requirement. It's a suggestion for a business lot. I just have an open and close sign, which is fine. But that just means I have to wait for Sims to technically come in the building before I can teach a class. Alright, so we have been open about an hour. As you can see, we have some customers in our building who are using our amenities. So let's go ahead and now click on the whiteboard and we should be able to start a class now. So since we have a level 5 or higher in pottery and we have pottery wheels in the whiteboard area, we can start a pottery class and charge $360 per person if we do good. If we don't do good, they're going to pay less. So let's go ahead and start a pottery class. I haven't actually done a pottery class yet, so I'm actually excited. So as per all classes, you do have to lecture for 45 minutes. And you automatically start preparing a lecture when you first start. So we can see here he is starting up and preparing for the lecture. People are starting to come to the lecture, and now he is standing in front of the board and giving a lecture. So he automatically starts giving the lecture. Everyone in the building kind of came. Now, you're not always going to get every single person in your business at your class, but A lot of them I have found do like to come to classes when you have the thing attended. And as you can see, they're starting to set the pottery wheels and work on their pottery skill. And we've already gone 20 minutes. Now the classes I feel like don't last long enough. I feel like I feel like they last a little bit longer considering you have to do so much while holding a lecture. And that is our son's pottery thing. But okay. But we've lectured for 45 minutes. So now we have to either mentor for 30 minutes, discuss pottery technique with 2 classes, and we have to craft a ceramic object. So I think we're going to craft a ceramic object first. And also, I didn't realize that there was a thing on that kindling. Okay, let's go ahead and clean that up. And then we are going to go ahead and craft a ceramic. And, you know, we're teaching a class. We don't want to go too advanced. Maybe let's just do something level 2 and do a candle lantern. And people are going to come and start taking notes on us and watching us do our work here. So maybe I want to get a picture of him, like, doing the pottery with the board behind him. I don't know. I just think this would be a cute shot. So let's see if we can get people come around here. So, see, as you can see, they're starting to gather around and kind of just take notes and whatnot. I love this person just like taking notes. I think that is so cute. I love that they actually physically watch you and take notes. I think that is so cool. Like, I actually think that's really cool. Alright. There we go. Alright. So we have him teaching that, and he has to finish the ceramic, which is why I wish the classes were longer, because you have to lecture for 45 minutes, you have to mentor for 30 minutes, and then you have to actually make the object that you're teaching people to make, and that is a whole process. And with pottery, it's like multi-steps, so I don't know if you like automatically have to like put it in the kiln, or if you like, I don't know, because like with painting, it's like a one-step class, you know? Anyways, let's go ahead and finish up making the ceramic, because pottery does take a minute sometimes. So let's go ahead and fast forward this. See, we're already almost halfway through the class. That's a little scary. It's a little scary. Also, let's check on, oh, she is automatically holding a knitting lecture. I really didn't want you doing that. I had you guys set up doing things for a certain reason. Okay, well, I guess it kind of makes sense that he's in here, considering that I don't know. The storyline, I feel like, is kind of fitting. I would like you to come talk to people. I know the main point of this is to pay attention to, like, oh, the kids are coming to her lecture. That's actually really cute. She's teaching, like, an all-kids class. Okay, so she's doing the same thing, but she is teaching a lecture, which is a part of a class. And I love that because it's a skill that kids can learn. Kids are coming to the class. That's so cute. Or lecture, technically. Let's get it right. He's doing a class. Alright. But he has made a ceramic. Now we have to glaze an object. So yeah, because there's multiple steps in the pottery, there's multiple steps that we have to do. Oh, that's a little annoying. Okay, well, let's go ahead and, can we put that in our inventory? And then come here, and we are going to glaze the ceramic from inventory, a candle lantern, and I'm assuming they're going to gather around and watch us do this as well. They are tending to make their own ceramics, so. Oh, this person finished theirs. That's cool. Okay, but he is doing his ceramic. Is anyone going to come watch him? No, they're all making theirs. Okay. Well, people, I think are still technically watching, even though they're making their pottery, which is fine. They have to make their pottery. Alright, so we are putting it in the kiln, and I'm just waiting for this to finish, and then we can do the talking. So we do have to mentor as well, which I think is the most important part. Alright, so we Is that glazed? Unbreakable coating. Oh, I made it unbreakable. I meant to actually glaze it, but that's fine. That's cool too. Alright. So we have that. We're going to put that in our inventory. And then we have to mentor for 30 minutes, discuss pottery technique, and it is a requirement in most classes to become inspired. I find this is the most hard thing to achieve, so I tend to ignore the become inspired thing unless I just absolutely need to. Now we have, how much longer? We have an hour and 55 minutes, and we still have to mentor for 30 minutes. So let's kind of mentor this person because she is the least far along. And as you can see, because she has a lower skill than us, we can mentor in pottery, which is going to be the last thing we go over, so in detail. So let's go ahead and mentor her so we can and show her the way of pottery, which honestly, this is a cute shot, so I kind of want to get it. Let's get him mentoring her in his class. And as you can see, we already have a gold in the class, but I think I'm going to keep it going because I found, I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's meant to be this way, but I found if you end a class early, you actually fail the class and you don't get gold even if you were in the gold range. And I think that's really stupid. So you do have to finish the class. So we have another hour and 9 minutes. So we need to discuss pottery techniques twice. So let's maybe discuss pottery techniques with her. Do we have to introduce ourselves first? I just need you to come discuss pottery techniques with someone, please. Oh my goodness. I'm scared we're not going to... I mean, we do have the gold already, but I wanted to complete a whole class. Alright, we have 38 seconds to do this. Discuss pottery techniques. So, unfortunately, you do have to introduce yourself first, which is a little annoying, but, you know, it's fine. So, if I could just introduce myself to this person real quick. Welcome to business. Oh, I clicked discuss pottery techniques with her. Why didn't it check? What? Oh, it canceled. That's annoying. Why did it do that? Discuss pottery techniques. Okay, discuss pottery techniques with her. And then friendly hobbies. Discuss pottery techniques with her. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Let's try to finish this with a full everything but become inspired. So if you could, please. There we go. We're teaching this. I don't know if we're going to finish it in time. If it gets down to the last 5 seconds and it hasn't checked it off, I'm just going to like cheat it because we're technically doing it. We're technically doing it. Yeah, I'm checking it off. Sorry. I'm sorry. I really want to see what the next skill was, even though we're not going to be able to do it. And the next one was to ask about hobbies and skills. Okay. So we have completed the class. We got paid because we got gold skill. And we got a couple of notifications. It says, you're a true inspiration, Joseph. I can't wait to know as much as you do. And he became good friends with all the people he taught the class to. Which I think is really cool that you gain friendship with the ones that you interact with. Obviously, the ones he didn't interact with, he didn't get as much social interaction with. But he got, like, good friendship with these three. Which were the main ones he interacted with. Which I think is cool. Alright. So, we can clean the whiteboard. So that will get us done for the next day. I'm hoping... Maybe, can you come here and clean up all these ceramics? I would like you to clean up after your class. Alright, so he's cleaning up. That class is done. Now we can go over to Vivian, who is holding a cross-stitch lecture in the gardening class. Okay, look, I love that you're holding a lecture for kids. I really do. But let's go ahead and do it with this. Because gardening is more the husband's thing, and flower arranging is more your thing. Okay, so technically she's at work right now because we're open, right? We're still open. So she should be able to come over here and hold a lecture or a class. So let's go ahead. I'm going to teleport her over here just to make things a little bit easier on me. Sorry about it. And we are going to go ahead and clean the board. There we go. Because I would like to start fresh and teach a flower arranging class. Because I haven't done that yet. I'm actually curious of how exactly that's going to run. Okay, so let's go ahead. We can start a class. Start a flower arranging class, which we can also charge $360 per person. Alright, so we have to a lecture for 45 minutes. We're automatically prepping the board. I just love that. Let's go ahead and maybe get a picture of her prepping her board. Might as well. Alright. So she's going to prep her board, and then she should automatically start lecturing. It is 5 p.m. The classes do take a little bit longer. Now, I'm curious. Adults are coming. Are the kids going to come? Because the kids were coming to the lectures automatically. But now they seem to more be focused on the music. And the adults are attending the class. Unfortunately. So it seems like the kids are more drawn to the lectures than the classes. Which I was excited for the kids to be involved in the classes. So that's a little disappointing. But I am glad that kids can attend classes. Also, you are very much at our teacher station. I don't appreciate that. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe it'd be a good picture, but still. Like, that's a little rude. Just a little rude. Anyways. Okay, let's go ahead and fast forward her lecturing. We have to mentor for 30 minutes. No. If you're going to come hang out, you're going to come hang out at the business. Oh, what are you doing? How are your needs? I might want to cheat their needs. I actually am just going to cheat the needs of the whole world. Because honestly, I don't feel like dealing with any of them. And we're going to do this right. Oh, you are about to go craft a ceramic. Did you clean up everything? I know I'm getting distracted. Like, I'm supposed to be focusing on classes. Maybe you can come scrap paintings. As I don't want him to not do anything. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. I just don't like the fact she's, like, doing in the flower arranging at our table. But, you know, this is fine. Alright, so let's finish our lecture. Okay, so now we have to mentor for 30 minutes, ask about hobbies and skills, and make an arrangement. Well, you're making an arrangement at our table, so I guess we can mentor you? So we can mentor in flower arranging. Now, I did find with the painting that if they finish before the 30 minutes is over with, you're just going to have to start mentoring someone else and just add the times together. So let's mentor her for 30 minutes since she decided to use our teacher flower arranging station, which was rude, ma'am. Was rude. Are you still mentoring her? What's taking so long? Okay, can you hurry up? I would like you to finish. Okay, she is done. Can you clean this up? I'm sorry, but can you kick her off so you can use your flower arranging table? Can you kick her off? I'm so scared to reset because I'm scared it's going to glitch something out. What if we ask her about hobbies and skills? We can go ahead. I'm assuming it would be under hobbies. Yeah, ask about hobbies and skills. So let's go ahead and have her do that. So maybe we can distract her from making a flower arrangement. We are literally teaching you right now. What do you mean? Can you come over and hang out? Hey, can we clean this up since she's not working on it anymore? Okay, so we asked about hobbies and skills. Okay, good. Now let's clean hers up. And we should be able to make our own arrangement since we have to make an arrangement. And you know what? Let's go all out and be fancy and do a bird of paradise. I feel like a midnight bird of paradise sounds fancy to teach a class. So, oh, when I cleaned up her thing, her flowers stayed. That okay. Okay. Well, let's go ahead. I want to get another picture of her with her little flower arranging here. Maybe her having the person take notes from her. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and fast forward this. She's making her flower arrangement. We have to be friendly with 2 Sims after we do this. So as you can see, each class is a little bit different. Now I think when I was testing in my last video just how to run a business and the classes being together and I was doing painting classes, every single class was the same. But when I'm doing different hobbies, they're the same concept, like I said, but they are a little bit different, which keeps it a little bit more entertaining than just doing the same back to back to back. Now you can see that they do take a while. Like we've been open. Let's see, how long have we been open now? We can actually only stay open 23 hours at a time, but we've been open for 11 hours. So what are you doing? Oh, you're crafting a horse sculpture. Okay, what are you doing? You're just, you know what? Why don't you come be nice to people? How about you do a friendly introduction to all these kids? Do a funny introduction. Can you can't clean up. That's annoying. Okay, we'll do a friendly introduction. All these kids are making messes, and it's really annoying me. Alright. Can you hurry up with this flower arranging? See, this is why I think the classes need to be longer. Because, like, you don't have enough time to do everything you need to do. Okay, please hurry up with your arrangement. You have 53 minutes to finish this arrangement, and you are taking forever. I'm hoping we're going to get a gold after we finish this arrangement. There we go. Yes, we got a gold, but I would still like to be friendly with 2 Sims. So, unfortunately, it looks like some people are walking away from the class. Even though it says they're attending. I guess they're getting distracted by the music. Okay, well, these people are closest to us, and they seem to be paying most attention. So maybe we can come be friendly with them. Compliment new job? We'll say that we're complimenting on a good job. Let's say that. Do we have to? It just says be friendly with Sims twice. So I guess we can be friendly with the same Sim twice, right? Maybe we can ask about hobbies and skills. That seems appropriate for a class. Alright. So let's fast forward. Her being friendly so we can earn our reward. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Be friendly, be friendly. Spend time talking to her. How much longer do we have? You know what? I think we might get it. Okay, you know what? I'm checking it off because it was 2 seconds till the end of the class. Alright, but we got a gold hobby cast complete. This class was amazing, Vivian. I know I will recommend it to everyone. And as you can see, they gained some friendship as well. But I think we probably should close our business because it's almost 10 at night. Because luckily, to hold lectures, you don't actually need to be running a current business like you do with classes. So let's go ahead and perhaps end our business day. And we earned 5,000, almost 6,000 simoleons. That's not bad. Perks to the business, hopeful hustle. Wow, we got almost up to a second gold star right away. That's not bad. But I think since it's nighttime, maybe the grandparents can take a break and we can focus on Nicholas real quick. But like I said, you don't have to be at the business or even your home lot. You could be on any lot as long as that has a whiteboard. So right quick, I'm just gonna cheat everyone's need to be happy. Just make this as simple as possible. We're gonna fill needs for the world, and then we are gonna go ahead and travel with our Sim Nicholas here. And teens can actually I believe hold lectures. Wait, hold on. Maybe I should have said that. I think teens can hold lectures and classes. I'm pretty sure. Can kids hold class? I think kids can hold lectures. Kids can have their own business, so I assume they would be able to teach lectures and classes. But, he's really into dancing, so, I don't think it would be that far off for him to go to the lounge and try to do a lecture on dancing. And I am going to get a whiteboard. I'll just do it in this color. And we're going to place it down, and we are going to come here, and we can hold lecture, or we can hold lecture for. So if we wanted to specifically hold a lecture for like one person, how many people can we choose here? We can choose up to multiple people. Okay, so you can choose specific people you want to do a dance lecture for, but you can also just hold a lecture. Now, like I said, you cannot charge for these, but it is a good way to get people's skills up. So if you wanted to teach multiple people, even certain people, skills and want to get that skill up fast, holding a lecture is really the way to do it. The mentoring and getting lectures and going to classes are really fast ways to boost your skills, which is the main privilege of this. But since we're just teaching it, we're not going to be able to see that as much. I was able to kind of show that off in other or past videos if you want to check those out in the playlist. But let's go ahead and hold a dancing lecture because he is a master at dancing. So we can sit here and hold a lecture, and hopefully maybe people will start showing up. Okay, we are holding a dance lecture. As you can see, the board has music written on it. I think depending on what category your sim is teaching under will be what the whiteboard shows. Now, obviously, not every single individual skill has a different whiteboard feature, but as you can see, this one kind of has music and acting and drama and all that all on one whiteboard. So I'm assuming if you were teaching an acting lecture, you would also have the same board since it has the faces on it. And same with keyboard and maybe guitar or whatnot. But as you can see, with him holding a lecture just in general, not that many people show up. They kind of just watch, walk away. So I kind of want to see how well people stick around if we hold a lecture for specific people. So let's go ahead and hold a lecture. Let's hold a dance lecture. Cannonball is very musically talented. I think most of these people are from the New World. I know all of these are. I think Hillary is from a different pack. So maybe let's teach all these people. Let's hold a lecture for all these people specifically that are on the lot and see how many of them gather around and actually stay the whole time. Because it looks like when we just were teaching lectures randomly, people weren't really sticking around for the whole lecture. They were just kind of oh, okay, you're teaching, cool, but I don't know if I'll stick around. So let's see if this makes people stick around a little bit more. So let's fast forward this. Now, obviously here, it's just a lecture, so we don't have goals because classes are goal-led events that have lectures inside of them. The lectures are just teaching people the skills. So you kind of see the difference there. So as we go down the list of classes, lectures, and mentoring, it kind of goes down and down more. But it looks like the people we specifically chose to teach the class for it are sticking around. But when we are teaching for Pacific people, no more random people are joining. So it kind of depends on how you want to run that, really. But here you go. As you can see, the lecture is almost over. And we didn't get any pop-ups. No pop-ups. Okay, well, that was a little sad. I was really hoping we would get, you did a great job, but apparently not. We can clean the board though. So let's be nice and clean the board since, you know, this isn't technically our board. It's not technically our board. So we will be nice and clean it up. I think after that, that's pretty much all it is for lectures and classes. Now let's go into the actual mentoring. So I have showed off in other videos that you can go to events around town. In this part of town specifically, the festivals kind of happen in this area. As you can see, we can get meetup information, and you can see here there's all different types of skills that you can get information on. So like, say he wanted to do Pottery and Pals, it shows here from 5 to 10 in both worlds on Tuesday and one on Thursday. And here you can come and you can participate and be the student in lectures and classes if you don't have a business place down that you can attend classes at. So that's the way you can attend classes. We were just teaching them in this video. But let's go ahead and head on back home, because I would very much like to show off the differences between what we just learned and mentoring. Alright, so we are back home / at the business. I don't know why all these people are still here. We've been closed for a while now. But let's go ahead and head over here to our grandpa, because he's the one that we're closest with. Actually, since we're closest with him, let's just become best friends with him before we get to mentoring. Oh, we got a mastery perk. Okay, all of Joseph's efforts are consoled into a mastery perk, mental aura. If Joseph continues, he'll be able to channel his experience into an aura that helps nearby Sims build mental skills. Should he unlock the mental perk? Yes. Hold on. I wasn't expecting to get that. Oh, where is that in our information panel? Is it under... Where is it? Where do perks show up? I would have assumed it was here. Is it here? Oh, it's here. Okay. So when you go to the mastery perks, it says Sims can earn mastery perks when using high skills. With their experience, elders are more likely to discover them. However, any Sims can get perks with presidential practice. Receive mentoring and attending hobby classes helps as well. For a more direct approach, elders can bestow their perks upon other Sims. Okay. That's exactly what I want to unlock in this video. Perfect. We can either mentor someone in a skill, or we can become their mentor. So mentoring is a little less entertaining, and it's actually more of a base game feature, but I'm still going to show it. So let's right quick become best friends with our grandpa, because that's going to be so cute. And then he can mentor us a little bit in pottery, I think, because Nicholas actually is really into pottery and his grandpa's really good at pottery, but they're becoming best friends. That's so cute. I have to get the picture. Sorry. Okay. All right. But they are best friends. How adorable. All right. So now let's go ahead, and I would like for both of them, you know what? I'm just going to teleport them. Let's save time and teleport. So let's teleport here. Come on. Stop talking. I know you guys are super happy to be best friends and all, but I would like you to come over here. Okay, so you can just... The way it originally worked in the base game is a Sim would be doing a skill, and as long as they had a lower skill than you, you could click on them and select to mentor them, which is kind of what I showed off before. But if you now, with businesses and hobbies, if you click on an object and there's someone with a higher skill than you around, you can ask them to mentor you, or the other way around. If there's someone with a lower skill than you want to mentor them specifically, and you're a level 5 or higher, you can offer. So let's ask for pottery mentoring from our grandpa. So let's do that first. So we're just going to ask for a little bit of mentoring here. As soon as... Why did you sit down at the object we have to sit down at to get mentored at? That was a little stupid. Maybe we should try the other way around. That's a little glitched. Okay, let's offer mentoring. Now, we can offer mentoring to our family, but if there were other people here, we could offer paid mentoring to a sim. Now, there's no one here to offer mentoring to because we can't offer paid mentoring to a sim in our house, but if they were out of our house, we could offer paid mentoring, and it actually pays more than classes because you're only teaching one person, not multiple people. So technically you're getting paid more per person, but you're only teaching one person. You can offer pottery mentoring to our grandson. Please. Please. Okay, let's see. Oh, you sat down in the chair to do that too. This is getting stupid, but did it work? But as you can see, he kind of just sits here and guides him through it, and it super speeds Nicholas's skill. So Nicholas is going to get this up super quick. As you can see, it's going up super fast, and that's kind of the bonus of mentoring. So we're going to go ahead and have him mentor through this all the way. I'm curious if it's actually going to make an object, or is it just going to gain his skill? I actually don't know. It says we're crafting a ceramic. I don't know which one it would automatically have as craft, though. I'm actually really curious. That's what I'm fast forwarding. As you can see, he almost got a whole skill level up there. He got 90% to level 6 from the beginning of level 5. Oh, he made a candle holder. Okay, cool. Alright, so you can just mentor that way. But since they have a really close relationship, we can actually ask him to be our mentor. So, hold on. I actually don't know how to do that, so I do need to figure that out. Is it under relationships? I'm assuming it wouldn't be under change relation. Oh, it is under change relationship. Hold on. Ask to be Joseph's mentee. I actually thought I was going to be wrong there, but I found it right away. I'm impressed with myself. All right, but we can ask him to be your mentee. I'm sure it also works the other way to where you can offer to be a mentee, but he said, I'm so glad you asked, Nicholas. I have a lot to teach you if you were willing to learn. So, do we have more options now that we're his mentee? So, honestly, I'm a little confused at what the difference between just mentoring someone and being someone's mentor. Because I'm not really seeing, like, any actual different interactions. I think it just gives them the relationship status. So if we go to open profile, and here, as you can see, it says mentee. As best, a symbolic relationship based on curiosity and respect. Yeah, so it says it's a symbolic relationship. So it is technically just a title, but it is a new title you can give. And then, now, the last thing I really wanted to show off, because I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to show this off, but apparently we are. And that is passing down skill mastery perks. So it looks like to bestow a mastery point that you get, you have to buy the ability in the reward store. Which actually reminds me, there's a couple rewards to do in mentoring that we can get. So I just cheated some reward points, and there is a mastery perk remover. So you can only have up to 4 mastery perks. So I guess if you didn't want a certain one, because there are multiple that you can unlock. I don't know the full list, but you can choose to remove it. And then you also, when it comes to just being a mentor in general, we have this super mentor reward, which is 1,000 points, but it will will be even more efficient when they teach people skills. They'll get even their skills leveled even faster, and they'll get paid more. So you can do that. But the one we really want to show off is 8,000 points, I believe. Right? Yeah. Mastery perk bestower. This potion bestows one mastery perk of your choosing on a sim. So let's redeem this. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we have this. So we have this. So if we drink this. Oh, so this isn't how you give an aura. This is how you can get an aura if you don't want to wait to get it. So I guess all the auras you can get is active, aspirational creator, aspirational thinker, creative aura, final touch, in the zone, mental muscles, pigeonholed. Okay, there's multiple ones of those. Powerful performers, second wind, secret spice, skillful sleep, space benders, and stemma. Huh, okay. How do you pass them down? I don't know exactly what interaction it's under. I just kind of kept clicking until it showed up in these. But we can give a life lesson of love, or we can bestow a mental aura. So let's bestow a mental aura. Because I saw the interaction for this in like a little trailer preview, and I think the interaction looks really cool. So I want to show this off as the final thing in this video, and I think this will be about everything there is to mentoring. So I want to get a good picture of this. Alright, so as you can see, he literally pulled a thought out of his head and just like strung it to him and gave it to him. Like, how cool is that? Like, what? Like, how cool? And literally, as you can see, he got the mental aura. So he got that mastery perk. And as it said earlier, it's typically elders that get it easiest, but as long as you have like a high enough skill, you can get that mastery perk, and it actually gives you a bunch of different helps. So as mental aura, it can really help with archaeology, fabrication, fishing, gardening, handiness, herbalism, logic, programming, research, debate, robotics, rocket science, veterinary, video gaming, medium, mental, vampire lore. And then creative order helps with like baking, mixology, DJ mixing, flower arranging, gourmet skill, guitar, cooking, knitting, painting, photography, piano, pipe organ, pottery, singing, tattooing, violin, writing, juice fizzing, media production, creativity, cross-stitching, and imagination. So really, if you pass down aura, you don't have to pass down the same skill. You're just passing down the same type of skill. So it could be creative skill, mental skills, all of those things. But I hope that kind of goes through what the difference between lectures, classes, and mentoring are, and all the things that are kind of involved in them, including what's in base game and what is coming with this pack. Most of this stuff is from this pack. It's just like the basis of mentoring is a base game thing, but this pack really expanded upon that, and therefore by expanding upon mentoring went into lecturing, and expanding upon lecturing went into classes. So I hope by watching this video you kind of understand the difference between all three things and what is included in those things. But I think I'm going to finally end this video, you guys. Like I said, if you like this build or this family, they're both up on my gallery. My gallery information is down below. But I'm going to end this one here, you guys. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and do all that awesome stuff, because you guys are awesome people. I'll see you next time. Alright,